Hello, family. I have a word to share with you today from Matthew 17, verse 21. I'll read the Amplified version today. But this kind of demon does not go out except by prayer and fasting. Amen. Today, we're continuing our series on walking in the supernatural, and our focus is prayer and fasting. In Matthew 17, we see Jesus coming down from the mountaintop after that powerful transfiguration moment with Peter, James, and John. As soon as he gets to the bottom of the mountain, there's a whole crowd waiting for him. A desperate father kneels before him, crying out for help for his son who is demon possessed and suffering from severe seizures. The boy would often throw himself into the fire or water. The man explains to Jesus that he had already brought his son to his disciples, but they couldn't heal him. Jesus then says, "Bring the boy to me," and instantly rebukes the demon, and the boy is healed. Later, when they're away from the crowd, the disciples ask Jesus privately, "Why couldn't we cast out the demon?" Jesus responds in two ways. First, he tells them their faith was lacking, and then he adds something very important. This kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. What Jesus shows us here is that if we want to walk in the supernatural, our faith, no matter how small, must be placed in a great and mighty God. When our faith is in Him, we learn to depend on Him to move mountains, not on our own strength or ability. A believer who commits to prayer and fasting is really saying, "God, I depend on you." It shows a deep desire to fight, sacrifice, and press in for the sake of deliverance and breakthrough. Charles Spurgeon said it this way: "He that would overcome the devil in certain instances must first overcome heaven by prayer and conquer himself by self-denial." Matthew 17:21 reminds us that while salvation is free, spiritual authority is developed. There are dimensions in God that we cannot access casually. They require intentional pursuit, discipline, and depth. From this passage, we can see three benefits of prayer and fasting that will help us to walk in the supernatural. Number one, prayer aligns us with divine power. Prayer is more than talking to God, it's communion with Him. When we pray, we align our will with God's will and position ourselves to receive heaven's power. The supernatural responds to intimacy with God, not talent, titles, or noise. Prayer sharpens our spiritual sensitivity, and it keeps us connected to the true source of power. Number two, fasting subdues the flesh. Fasting is a spiritual discipline that quiets the flesh and strengthens the spirit. When the flesh is subdued, the spirit can lead. And let's be honest, the flesh doesn't go down without a fight. Fasting is a discipline I've grown into over time. And I thank God for a church that incorporates regular seasons of fasting, including a weekly covenant day of prayer and fasting. That consistency helps make fasting a lifestyle and strengthens our spiritual muscles. It's important to remember that fasting doesn't move God, it moves you. It positions you to hear God more clearly and allows His power to operate more freely in your life. Fasting isn't just about focusing on food or counting down to the next meal. It's about developing a deeper hunger for God. Number three, certain realms respond only to depth. Jesus clearly said, "This kind of evil spirit doesn't move without prayer and fasting." That tells us some breakthroughs, deliverances, and victories require deeper consecration. Higher spiritual authority requires deeper surrender. The more we yield ourselves to God, the more He can trust us with His power. Family, if we're going to walk in the supernatural, we can't settle for surface level Christianity. Let's pursue God with intention, discipline, and hunger. Prayer and fasting are not religious obligations. They're spiritual keys that unlock supernatural living. My prayer this year is that the Lord will draw us deeper, strengthen our spirits, and empower us to walk boldly in the supernatural. Amen. That's today's word. And as always, remain blessed, stay in your word, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another Women Word Wednesday message. Bye.